Good evening and welcome once again to 30 Day Mental Diet. I would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to tune in. Today we have a really good lesson. We are at day 16 of the 30 Days Mental Diet. Today's lesson is entitled Make Your Affairs Prosper. And once again, I would just like to remind you to please like, subscribe, and to share these videos with your family and with your friends. And if you have a comment, you can also comment in the comment section of the video. And I would love to hear your feedback on each lesson each day. So let's start right away with the introduction. Today's lesson, Make Your Affairs Prosper. And right under it says, you live in the midst of abundance. Let's read the introduction. Why should you be prosperous? Fundamentally, life is never stingy, never lacking. There is a superabundance of all that is. Nature is prolific in every respect. One look about you and you can see this for yourself. Have you reason to suppose that life's abundance stops where you begin? Now that's a good question. Have you reason to think that life's abundance stops where you begin? I was on the islands several weeks ago, and I was looking at a tree. It was a mango tree, actually. And I was looking at, because the tree bloomed and there were so many mangoes on the tree, and the leaves and the branches were hanging down. And I was looking, and I was hard pressed to count the amount of mangoes on this tree, much more just the thought of to be able to eat even a quarter of the mangoes that were on that tree. And I realized how much in abundance, whenever God gives us a crop, he doesn't just give you a crop, he gives you everything in nature in abundance. But abundance doesn't stop where you are. Abundance is all around you. Let's move. Out of the limitless productivity of the universe, enough can be provided for prosperity of all without limiting or depriving anyone. This is important because sometimes people believe when you see someone that's rich or someone that's prosperous, you feel they must have gotten that through ill-gotten gains or taken from somebody else. And that's not the way the universe is ran. Nature shows that everyone can have abundance in whatever area they're involved in, because God is a God of abundance. You should have whatever is necessary to provide a joyous and happy life. But this means that those good things you desire to come to you must in no way deprive another of what may belong to him. Out of the limitless productivity of the universe, enough can be provided for the prosperity of all without limiting or depriving anyone. Think about it. If you ever look at trees, a prosperous tree or a prosperous garden where there's abundance, does one tree deprive another tree of nutrients? No. There's enough for all. The sunlight, there's enough sunlight for all. There's enough in the universe because God gives. When he gives abundantly. Let's move on. Where does prosperity start? Quite a few years ago, it was a common expression that prosperity was just around the corner. It was a wonderful sentiment, but far from practical, there remains a problem of what corner and when it would be rounded. The one type of thinking that needs to be avoided is that prosperity is just around the corner, that it will come tomorrow or the next day. If this kind of thinking is maintained, you'll soon discover that the prosperity you desire is a future thing and always will remain in the future so long as you consider it. What you are interested in is prosperity now. Now that's a very, very strong statement. I want you to think about it. God is not the God of the future, and God is not the God of the past. God is the God of now. And when you want prosperity and when you want abundance, you need it now. You don't need it in the past because the past is gone. And you don't need it in the future because the future is just a vision. What we want it is right now. Think about it. Are you hungry? If you're hungry, you say, Lord, can I get the food tomorrow or next week? No, Lord, I need the food now. I need medicine. I need a crop, a bumper crop. Whatever it is you need, I need health. I need it right now. I don't need it in the future. I need it right now because now is the only time that is promised to me. The future is not promised to me.
Ready?
So now I'm at first steps. If your experience is determined and established by the pattern of your thinking, the obvious conclusion is that you have to start to create a frame of mind, a process of thinking that embodies prosperity as your present state of affairs. So what Kinner is saying right now is that you have to start to embody that prosperity is now. Even though you may be in a situation where there's lack, you have to ignore that. And what you have to do now is to embrace prosperity now. First, in your thinking. We said that before, pause that. So all undertakings that we have to first embrace the abundance right now, no matter how small. So let's say we have a business, and the business is started from our home, our garage, our basement. We have to have the vision in our mind that we're holding that vision, that this business is a huge conglomerate. When we're in the garage, when we're in the basement, when we're in the attic, when we're in the little room with the business, we have to embody that thinking. Because remember, first cause is always mental. The thoughts, the constructive thoughts are seeds, and they are creating the future. So what he's saying here is we must embody prosperity in our present affairs, even though we're starting small. This is a good process of blinding yourself to present circumstances or situations. This is not a process of blinding yourself to present circumstances or situations, but a down-to-earth practical application of cause and effect. Remember what we said before. First cause is mental. Once we put the mental vision out there into the universe will create the effect. So we must embody the vision in our mind. Let's move forward. Prosperity is more than a state of mind. A prosperous person knows that he is prosperous and that he will always will be. Think about that. A prosperous person knows that he is prosperous and that he will always be prosperous. Let's think about a person that may be strong and they never ever crosses their mind that there will be a day where they will lose their strength. Let's think about somebody that's very brilliant, smart in whatever endeavor. And this person knows that they're smart, and it never comes across in any doubt in their mind that they will ever not be smart. This is the same attitude you have to have with prosperity. You must know that you are prosperous and that you will always be prosperous. Why? There is no limit to the creative action of life, but there rests in your thought the ability to determine how it will be created for you. So this is what's being said here. There is no limit to the creative action of the universe. The limits of the creativity that's around you is all put by you and me. We limit ourselves. We limit our thinking, but God does not limit anything in the universe. Okay. The fact that you may not be more prosperous than you are now is a result of the limitations you place on what life can do for you. So let's redirect our thinking. For the most part, the attainment of prosperity rests upon our ability to stop deploring what little you have, thinking only about the voids in your experience. I want you to think about this because this is very, very important. Sometimes we have a small amount and we dwell in our mind on what that small amount. Let's think about in the Bible, there Jesus is here, turns to his disciples and says to them, these people are hungry, give them something to eat. And the disciples looked at the lack. They said, we have nothing here except this boy with his lunch, a few loaves, a few fishes. And what they were doing was they were deploring the little that the boy had, because in their mind, that little could not feed such a multitude. But that was a limit. They limited their thinking. Now, the Christ, he saw that what they saw as little, he saw as abundance. And he's, in his mind, saw this basket filling the bellies of all the multitudes of people, and fragments being picked up at the end. That's a different way of looking at it. And these two people, the Christ and his disciples, were both looking at the same food. But each, there was a different vision there. It needs to be established a definite and specific concept, a mental equivalent of those things that you desire to possess. So you desire to possess abundance in whatever area. You must have a mental concept of what it is you desire. Then, right here in the chapter, folks, right here in the chapter, it says, think. Remember, we were speaking about thinking before. Think, believe, and act as though you have them right now. Let's go back again. I'm going to read it again. Presents a mental concept of the prosperity, the abundance, the thing that you want. Think about it, believe it, and act as though you have it right now. Be thankful for whatever good you already possess, knowing that to it is added. Here's the important thing. Let's go back to that same analogy I used earlier of Christ with the loaves and fishes. If you look at what Christ did, He took the loaves and fishes, and you know what he did? He lifted it up to heaven and gave thanks. And here it's being said that be thankful for whatever good you possess right now. Because the little thing that you have right now is a seed to create a tree of abundant fruit. This is what it is. Think, believe, and be thankful for what you have. Okay, let me move down. Once you redirect your thinking in this manner and keep it clear, concise, and specific, there is nothing that possibly can prevent it from becoming a tangible part of your experience. So the next paragraph says, accept prosperity. The acceptance of abundance starts with the building up in your mind. Let's say that again. The acceptance of abundance starts with the building up in your mind of a conviction that God does not favor others and ignore you. There is some truth in the saying that God helps those that help him. Okay, so I'm now reading at the last paragraph, new experiences. New experiences of living are ever open to you when you reach the point where you can firmly and consistently maintain in your pattern of thinking that the abundance you desire, the prosperity you wish to enjoy, is yours now. This constant belief, coupled with emotions and actions that reflect it, is a causative factor and will not and cannot be denied by God's creative action as law. This is very, very important. So if you are constantly and consistently visualizing yourself, let's say you have a business, and you're constantly, first, before you even start the business, you constantly see yourself doing this business, seeing yourself prospering in this business. And because you maintain that constant vision, that vision is a causative factor. That thought is a causative factor. And causative factors put out in the universe, God must now bring that vision into your space. This is a wonderful thing that we only have to put the vision with passion and emotion out there, and God himself creates the increase. Just like a seed is put into the ground and a tree springs up, brings forth fruit, feeds people, and creates lodging for birds. We don't know how that happened. All we know is that we put the seed in the ground and God did the rest of the work. It's the same thing with your thoughts and your consistent thoughts, your consistent vision of prosperity in whatever endeavor you're striving towards. Let's move towards the mental stimulus. It says, spirit is limitless and it's a creative power, and it can provide an inexhaustible reservoir of help and strength from which man can draw freely at his will. I would like to see the comments today in the comment sections on if you have any comments about today's lesson, because I think it's a very good lesson. But even better, let's do the diet together. You should have done this diet this morning, but if not, let's do this diet right now and listen to how powerful this diet is. There is no limit to the abundance and prolific creativity that resides in the universe. I know that I am part of and not separate from the infinite intelligence in which all things reside and have their being. In this knowledge and conviction, I know that God's creative action continues to manifest itself through the pattern of thinking that I maintain. There is no limit to God, and whatever may appear as a need in my experience is abundantly filled as I know and believe that it is filled. Whatever good I undertake, whatever beneficial goals I desire to accomplish, whatever I feel is necessary for a fuller, richer enjoyment of living is successfully fulfilled. All that I wish to do and accomplish that is consistent with good and neither deprives nor harms anyone is mine to attain, as I now believe that it is mine. The more prosperous I am, the more enjoyment I get out of living. The more I'm able to help others, the more I am expressing the God life that flows through me. I let go of all ideas of limitation and accept the abundance and prosperity that is the very nature of God's being and creation. In everything I do, I am prosperous. I am immersed in abundance of all things. A new doorway now opens for me, and I enjoy a richer experience of living. What things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you have received it, and you shall have it. I want to thank you once again for tuning in to the 30-Day Mental Diet. Today is day 16. I would love to you to comment below on this lesson. Please like and share the video, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much.